Troy Sage.
And I'm Andrew Smith. We're going to talk about file escalations today. Short sale file escalations. When to do it, how to do it, what to know about doing it.
When to stop doing it.
When to stop doing it. When it's counterproductive.
Exactly. Do you want me to start on that?
Absolutely.
You escalate that file when you're having a major problem. End of story. Have a nice day. Thanks for stopping by. Stop escalating when you don't have a problem.
Here's one of the things that we see all the time. You submit a package, and remember, the lender on the other side, quite often, depending upon how they're receiving this, unless they're one of the lenders on Equator, quite often all of that comes in, and the first thing that they have to do is get all of that paperwork imaged into their system, and it usually goes to a processor to make sure that it's complete and everything's there. The one thing you do not want to do is submit your whole package and a day later escalate the file and say, we don't have an answer yet, it's a great offer, why don't you have anything? Yes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but sometimes the annoying bug just gets squashed.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And there's so many agents doing this right now because we do a lot of these short sales, and we're talking to loss mitigators, and they're really pleasant with us because we're not trying to push the envelope. And matter of fact, I just heard last week a story, which I can't repeat the whole thing because I'll incriminate the guilty. But basically, this LM was telling us, hey, I'd like working with you guys because I just heard from so-and-so that's in your area, and this person contacts us like every 24 hours with the same question. They don't even give us time to process what they sent us. So imagine if you humanize this. I understand the bank's the bad guy. Okay, and we've already had videos on this. The bank wasn't the bad guy when they lent the money.
No, but they're the bad guy now.
They're absolutely the bad guy. Evil, evil banks. Whatever. So imagine you're the bank and you get a package that says, would you please forgive this debt? Okay? Then all of a sudden the next day you say, hey, would you forgive this debt? Oh wait, I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to go somewhere higher up and say, forgive this debt. Because that's the way it starts coming across. You got to forgive this debt.
You got to forgive this. And by the way, I know I'm missing pages 7, 12, 15, 17,
and there's 24. No initials on anything.
Nothing
I
signed.
have no financials. As a matter of fact, my seller's not even talking to me right now, but I need this short sale approved right now, so we're going to escalate this.
And if you don't return my call, I'm calling your boss.
Right, good luck with that.
Now I'm going to call their boss.
The point is that the time to escalate is when you've exhausted all options. And here's a couple of examples. Example number one is that you've got the file basically approved. Okay, they've given you an Equator. They're going to send you an email that says we're going to approve this. You should have your approval letter within the next 24 to 72 hours.
Right.
Okay. It's now been 72 hours. There's no approval letter. That's time to escalate it. When the bank is not performing according to the guidelines, if it's a half a deal, if they haven't ordered the BPO in time, and you're not getting feedback from the particular LM, then in Equator you're going to include the LM and their supervisor and go to an escalations department.
Exactly, and even if you're dealing with something outside of Equator, so here's an example on one of my own files that we've dealt with, is a situation is there where all the information's done, the BPO's been completed, everything's back. The BPO's been back 10 days, and we haven't had a response from our negotiator at this time. We've called into customer service. Customer services acknowledges that there's notes against the file and puts in a request to have the negotiator call us. We also send the negotiator an email. We leave the negotiator a voicemail. 72 hours goes by, and we still haven't heard from anything. We're going to go ahead and escalate that file. There's something going on there that we need to know. As a matter of fact, we found out that the negotiator was on vacation. So again, somebody's going to be covering
Which they do,
which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But again, we gave them adequate time to respond. So again, 72 hours is a fairly acceptable window when you reach that point, not 72 hours after you just submit everything. And if they say you're going to get a call back and you don't, then you can go ahead and negotiate. And again, be kind, or not negotiate, go ahead and escalate above the negotiator, but be kind in your escalation, just kind of go back and say, you know what, we haven't had the response that we were expecting on this, just wanted to make sure everything is in order with the file, would appreciate that. That manager is going to look into it, and if someone's covering that file, as they are in this case, they'll make the request that they contact you. But again, it's give and take. Understand that the workload they're under, again, not crying on their behalf, but at the same point in time, escalating every single day is not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I was an LM and somebody kept escalating every single day, I mean, I'll tell you what I would do.
I just delete the messages.
Yeah,
and
F7,
respond.
have a nice day. It's gone.
Yeah.
Because that's just unfair. It's unfair. They're negotiating anywhere from 100 to 700 files at any given point in time. And if you're going to keep pressing that button and crying wolf, eventually the way I look at it, the wolf's going to bite. There's going to be a wolf, and it's just going to be gone. You're just making life more difficult on you. And remember, and we've said this 100 times, we're going to say it 100 more times, you have the future of your seller in the palm of your hand. Your fiduciary duty is to protect your seller. If you keep escalating, you're not protecting that particular seller.
But saying that, it's, understand that you can't just let it ride out either.
Correct.
If you're not getting a response in adequate time frames, when you're, if you've been told you will have a response by Friday and you don't, and it's now Monday, go ahead and escalate. That
Right.
would be keeping your seller's interests, at the forefront of what's going on here. But if you're just, escalating every day, that's not going to get you anywhere. Remember, you got to work with your negotiators, with your loss mitigation officers, and try and get a solution that's acceptable to everyone.
Absolutely. And here's one last thing. I just have to say this. A lot of this has to do with tact. Okay? Yeah. If you have 72 hours that they're giving you to give you the approval letter, try a friendly email 48 hours later to say, hey, just checking to make sure things are fine.
Right.
Are we going to get that letter tomorrow? Not trying to push. Whenever you want something, you told me a phrase once when I was in a really angry moment, which is often. You said something like you attract more bees with honey or something like that. Do you remember that phrase?
I do.
What was the phrase? Was that it?
I think that's exactly it. I go, remember, you attract more bees with honey.
Right, and I said, yeah, and then I'm going to get stung or something, and it ruined that whole entire thing. But the point is that the sweeter you are and the more calm you are in these negotiations, 9 times out of 10, the smoother it's going to go.
Exactly, and that doesn't mean that the negotiator is going to get upset because you've escalated something, or that you shouldn't be afraid to cross that line and escalate something. But again, we're going to go ahead and throw that common sense word out here, and I don't know about using that.
I hear you.
I can just retract that. I'm assuming a lot of people have common sense.
Well,
so
a lot of people do have common sense, and most of the people who are watching our videos are on the same page as us.
No, you're right.
And we've had a lot of feedback of how they appreciate our videos and the information in which we give, and we love. This is giving back. This is part of who we are as people. But there are people out there right now that are watching this video or don't watch our video that really think that, well, they've got this and we're going to escalate now, and they're just pushy all the way, and I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, use some common sense as you go about it. Think about how you would be if you were on the receiving end of that, how you would take it. And if you're unsure on the process, or you've got a situation where you think you should have had an answer, send us an email. Visit us on Facebook. Let us know the situation, and we'll be more than happy to provide some guidance, some assistance, and help you out the best we can. As always, find us on the web, www.s2neg.com.
Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.